Good evening. Welcome to the 28th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you had a productive week this last week. This is the first back-to-back episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Live. I'm hoping to be able to make this a weekly occurrence now, every Sunday at 6 p.m. So for those of you who are joining now, thank you again. Just a few announcements for this evening. Coming up on October the 12th and 13th, I'll be teaching a few sessions with Writers in the Field, which is in Mansfield, Texas. It's just outside of Mansfield. So for under $100, you'll have 2 days of hands-on interactive adventures, as well as some useful knowledge that you'll gain. For more information, you can go to rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com and click under Rachel in Person. And it's also listed in the events section of the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook page. So go ahead and check that out. It's going to be over on the side on the Facebook page. So I would love to be able to have you come in. We have narrowed down my sessions to 2, and I will talk more about those the closer we get to the time. But I hope you can join us. So tonight, the topic is the first 5 pages, and it looks like my mom just joined. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining. The first 5 pages. Now, the first 5 pages, those are usually the first pages that an agent or a publisher will ask for whenever you are ready to take your novel to the next level. So they usually ask for 5 to 10 pages just so they can kind of see what your level of writing skill is. So those pages that you submit, they must grab the reader's attention, or the agent or publisher won't know that it will sell. I've had a couple of authors ask me before, well, I've got the first 5 pages of chapter 2 or chapter 6. Which ones should I send? They should be the first 5 pages of your novel. So chapter 1, the prologue, whatever it is, they need to be those first 5 pages of your book. So now I can't tell you exactly what could go wrong or what you need to do right to make sure that a publisher or an agent will look at your work and say, oh my God, this is exactly what I have to have. But I have a few tips of things that I think would be very helpful to get you to where you need to be for an agent or a publisher whenever they are ready to read your pieces. So, very first thing, from the first sentence, you need to show that you're not just a competent writer, but that you're a skilled one, that you're able to tell a story, that you are a professional storyteller. So, in doing that, you want to make sure that you're not confusing the reader, that you aren't tripping the readers up with any strange typos or with beginner mistakes. So you just have to make sure, one, that those are perfect pages. So editors and agents are looking for great voice in your work, and they're hoping that from that very first sentence that they're able to see the voice either in the narration from the character or what you're providing as an author. So you have to be able to show that you are a competent writer from the very beginning. Number 2, your setting should be apparent within these first pages. So you should be able to appeal to the senses, to be able to share so that the reader will be able to know exactly what the setting is based on the senses. So that sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. Taste is a hard one, but you can figure out ways to incorporate taste. But you should be able to incorporate that to bring the reader right into the world in which you have created for your novel. So, and you have to do that within those very first pages. If you can do it within the first page, then that is ideal, because that's what's going to grab them, and they're going to be able to take you. You're going to be able to take them further along in the journey within your novel. So number 3. The protagonist, your main character, must be present within these first pages. And you have to be able to see their viewpoint. You know, what is it that they're seeing, that they're doing, that they're able to feel. This is where, doing setting can be incorporated and went along with your main character. So the reader needs to be able to experience what the protagonist is doing, who they are, from how they move to how they think. And this will help if the character is likable. Doesn't necessarily always have to be a likable character, but if they are, the reader should really like this character and want to go on this journey with them. Number 4, in these opening 5 pages, there must be an intriguing conflict, and it needs to be building up to a climax of some sort. Now, this can be a little mini climax. It doesn't have to be like the overall arching climax of your story, but it has to be something that they're going to go, oh, okay, so this is what's going to happen right now. And it's possible to, start your story somewhere in the middle of the actual story so that you're able to move that reader through an explosive action piece that's happening, and then build in maybe flashbacks that can take you back to see what happened before that. So, if it's necessary. But you need to be able, as I said, to be able to have an intriguing conflict that is going to grab that reader's attention. And when I'm talking about the reader, it's not just the potential future readers of it. The reader is going to be the agent or the editor or whoever it is that is reading your work that's going to pass it on to the person who can make the decisions for your writing, for your future career. So I just see Monakia just joined in. Hey, I am so glad that you've joined in. Yes, this is perfect for the 8th graders. And it's one of those things that, especially whenever they're probably writing, 5 or 6 page stories anyway, and maybe longer, but they need to be able to grab the attention quickly. And it's something that as English teachers, we always teach our students to not bore the person who's reading your work. And you want to be able to get that information just right out there to them. And number 5, and I try to do only 5, that way it's not, a big long list of things that you're going to have to listen to. But the editors and publishers want to see something different in than what they've already seen. So in saying that, different, it just has to be something that shows that you are original, that you're capable of coming up with something new, and that you're not copying any other tropes that other authors have taken on. Now, you can have something that's similar, but it has to be different enough to where it puts intrigue into the idea of the editors and publishers. And in saying all that, part of the reason why they want to judge you on your first 5 pages is most readers, and I'm included in that, I go a little bit further than 5 pages sometimes, but if you don't capture the reader's attention, any reader within those first few pages, they're not going to read the rest of your story. They're going to put it aside and say, well, not my taste. I had a student just the other day in the library that came in, and she checked out a book. She sat down, she read 3 pages of it, she brought it back, she said, this isn't my taste, miss, it's not going to work. So, and that was a published author that she did that to, but it wasn't, what she is interested in reading. So it is subjective. It's very subjective as to who's going to like what you write and who doesn't. But that's part of the process of making sure that you are going for the right audience for your work. And that includes you're going for the right agents and the right publishers for your type of writing that you're doing. So all of this in saying, it's not even talking about having a revealing plot. It's not talking about your character development of all your other characters, and all of the other things that are involved in drawing readers into your stories. But editors and agents, they want to be able to take credit for the next big deal that's made in the publishing industry. So you have to make sure that you are able to prove to them through your writing that you are going to be the next big bestseller. And as a writer, that's your job. That's just what you're doing. Monakia, you said, my kids do the same. I think that's a big thing with all kids. And I have found that I started reading just a couple weeks ago a second book in a series. And I liked the first book okay. And I got about 25 pages into the second book, and I'm just like, I can't get into this, and it's supposed to be a mystery, and it's like, okay, you're not drawing me into this mystery, and it's only 300 and something pages long. I'm not going to get there. So, but anyway, and part of that is just, you know, it's taste. There are some things that I like and I don't like, it just as any other reader. But you have to be able to build your audience and know what is going to work for your audience, as well as the editor and the agent and the publisher, and they will help you along that line, but you have to get their attention first. And in doing those 5 things I just suggested, you should be able to get there. So I hope you found this information helpful, and if you did, please click on the like button right over there, and feel free to share this video with others who you think might benefit from my words of advice. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and just know that I will be back on next Sunday. I'm already ready with the topic for next Sunday. I'll be back on next Sunday right here on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook page for another writerly discussion. Have a good evening again. Good night.